All right, you're welcome back. And our guest this morning is Ejike Awata. He is a public affairs analyst. Ejike, good morning.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. Quickly, we are starting with the Vanguard newspaper this morning with the big story in front of Vanguard. Article OBCSOs orders fume over raid of NLC headquarters by security agents. And then we have riders. We are still attacked by law. Okay, I can't see that very well. Let's quickly see what we have top there. Manufacturers incur 1.5 trillion naira forex losses in 6 months. And then we have road projects. Federal government open talks with Julius Berger. African Human Rights Commission steps probe of brutality of protesters and journalists. And then down there we can see Afenifere to Tinubu probe killings, calls for military intervention during protests. Okay, well, and we can see the picture of burnt vehicles there. I mean, that's the aftermath of what is happening in the protests, and also the filling station that was caught with fire yesterday, gas explosion at a filling station. All right. Let's quickly also see the next paper, that is the Daily Trust newspaper, so that we take them together. The Daily Trust, what we lost during protests, traders, transporters, over 5 billion naira worth of goods looted. This is coming from Kano businessmen. Our supplies truncated, Boronu Yobe traders. We are caged in Lagos, curfew relaxed in states. And then hunger protests, disquiet as security operatives raid NLC headquarters. 25 die in Bayelsa Jigawa boat mishap. Address poverty or compromise future generations. Action 8 tells federal government. Federal government suspends plan to sell 40,000 naira subsidized rice to civil servants. Former CAF president dies at 78. Isha Hayato. Niger Pete collapse. 4 more bodies recovered after 2 months. Okay. And then we can also see pictures of properties that have been vandalized as a result of this project that was being hijacked by hoodlums. Okay, so these are the stories we have on the 2 papers, the Vanguard newspaper and the Daily Trust newspaper. So quickly over to you, Ejike.
The raid at
NLC headquarters.
It brings back memories of military era where the military goes to an office, especially media houses, and then begin to ransack the premises and take away vital documents. That's similar to what has happened with the NLC. And no security agency is owning up to that action. The DSS has absorbed themselves, saying they did not go there. So as it stands now, we do not know which arm of the security agencies have done that. And the NLC is saying that books, materials were taken away from the office. And as it is now, they even ordered their staff not to go in, peradventure those who came and have planted an incriminating material or substance in the office so as to nail them. So it becomes very, very worrisome. One would begin to wonder, and it is being linked to the ongoing protests because there is a premonition that the NLC has a hand in the protests. So nobody knows what materials may have been taken, and the bookshop was raided as was reported, and some books were carted away. So we need to know which agency, which security agency took out that action, and for what purpose. You don't. If you have an issue with an organization, the NLC is not just any other organization. You should reach out to them, make an invite, and then questions should be asked, or even get a court order if you must go to their premises and then investigate or search. You should get a court order. You don't just go to their premises in the night, of course, in a commando style, and begin to ransack everywhere, putting fears in the minds of they start there. So we hope that those who took out those actions will come out and say, we are the ones. Of course, they know what they have done is illegal. That's why nobody is owning up. But investigation should be done. Those who did not come from outside Nigeria. There are Nigerian security agencies. They should be informed that, and the proper thing should be done. They should be prosecuted because what they did was very wrong.
All right, thank you so much for that submission. Okay, also, let's look at the big story in the front page of the Daily Trust, where a lot of people, especially in Kano State, businessmen in Kano State, lamenting about what they've lost so far in the protest that is ongoing nationwide, the End Hunger or End Bad Governance protest that is ongoing. From there, we have seen that even transporters are saying that, things are not moving on well because nobody is moving from one location to another. And then, losing a whole lot of 5 billion naira, businessmen crying out, that's a big figure.
It's whichever we want to look at it, it falls back to the government because they did not do what they are supposed to do. I'm not talking in terms of making sure that something like this will not happen.
Yes.
The protest was inevitable. Whatever happens today does not stop another protest tomorrow if there's a need for it. The Constitution guarantees it. But what actions did the security agents take? They were supposed to, number one, protect protesters and make sure that their ranks were not infiltrated. But either they were caught off guard or they lose their guard, and those who had sinister motives moved in, and you can see the amount of wreckage they've caused in northern Nigeria. Of course, everybody is affected because those who are affected are not just the northerners in the northern region. You have people from every part of Nigeria there.
Yes, doing business there.
So everybody is affected. If the security agencies have done what they are supposed to. And we should also know that the North, whether we like even the governor of Plateau State, said the North is volatile. You have children there. If you even look at a video, you see minors who are protesting. They may not even know what they are protesting for. They don't. Of course, they know there's hunger in the land, and a hungry man is an angry man. But those children, I saw some of them. Some of them were around 12 years. They do not know what the whole protest is about, but because you see people on the street, you join them. And most of them are Nigerians. They do not, their food comes from begging. And because of the protest, people are minding their business.
An opportunity for them to
have up and begin to loot businesses. That is the result of it. So I'm saying if the security agencies have done what they are supposed to do, it wouldn't have degenerated to this level.
You see, that's the reason why some people will always say that protest isn't just the right way to do things, especially in the country, because there are people waiting for this kind of opportunity, hoodlums, bandits waiting for this kind of, to loot people's businesses and then, wreak havoc in the society.
There may be people, but it still does not stop. Protest must come, whether we like it or not. If we hope on those who are in charge, the authorities, to make sure it doesn't go out of hand. The Constitution guarantees it.
Or to make sure that things are being done the right way, so that
we're not even I don't want to go to that aspect. So protest must come. So, but if it comes, how do you manage it? How many of when you see things like, you wonder if they even undertake crowd management.
But the protest that the incumbent president embarked on in 2012 was peaceful, and it lacked most of the violence we are seeing today. Is it a case of the organizers of the protest, or is it a case of the government that we have at hand?
It's a case of the government. This protest, there was prior notice. Who were protesting. Some people were saying, why would they set the date of the protest? You are supposed to take government unawares. And I said, no, you don't do things like that. You have to say this is what you intend to do. You even submit yourself to security agencies. They take down your name and know those who are organizing the protest. These things were done. Now the government is beginning to finger Spanish nationals, Polish nationals, and all whatnot. protests must come. How do you handle the protest? If they had handled this protest the same way the government in power in 2012 handled it, we won't have such thing. We didn't have this level of
looting and vandalization.
In 2012, it did not happen. So it begins to tell you the level of or the quality of leader in power at the time. There is no basis for comparison.
Well, let's go to the next paper and then compare what we have with others. And Daily Independent is next for review this morning, and then the banner headline is still screaming, End Bad Governance Protest. Condemnation trails raid on NLC Secretariat by security operatives. Amnesty International says attack on civic space to intimidate union. Action attack on rights of Nigerians. Threat to democracy, that's coming from TUC. We did not carry out any operation at NLC Secretariat, that's coming from DSS. Well, the mast there is saying presidential speech purported 573 billion naira disbursement to states predates Tinubu's government. Dangote refineries supplies will disrupt Europe's oil gas industry. That's coming from OPEC. Arike resumes services flight days after operations were grounded. You can see the full story on page 7. Lagos explosion not linked to NGML/NIPCO CNG stations. That's coming from NNPC. 20 die as cargo boat explodes, sinks in Bayelsa waterways. Tinubu government adopting propaganda, misinformation as state policy. That's coming from Atiku. Court restrains PDP Damagun from conducting Congress in Benue. Tinubu directs security agencies to track down on illegal miners. And then we have CBN boost foreign exchange market with $876 million, commit to provide liquidity. Quickly, let's see what we have on the Tribune newspaper. The banner headline is still speaking Afenifere to federal government. Reveal identities of sponsors of protesters flying Russian flags. Condemns Tinubu's address, says he lacks statesmanship. NHRC condemns teenagers killing by soldiers, seeks thorough investigation. Nigeria lost 1.3 trillion naira estimated output to protest. That's coming from investigation. Immigration suspends officer begging traveler for money at airport. Well, that's not new. Why all marketers can't import petrol like NNPCL. That's coming from Ipman. Court sentences 59 internet fraudsters to prison in Oyo, Ogun, and Osun states. And then we have 700 billion naira paid as bribes in 2023. That's coming from ICPC chairman. NLC raises alarm over headquarters raid by security operatives. We are not involved. Same thing coming from DSS. Local government financial autonomy, Supreme Court order enforceable, Ozokume. Days after accepting to wear beaded crown, Makinde visits Ladoja. Mba flags off distribution of 4.6 billion naira worth of agro inputs, NSME's grant. That's the governor of Enugu State. And at the mast of the Daily Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, 20 die, many missing as boats explodes in Bayelsa. 573 billion naira disbursed to states. That's what government says fund is World Bank loan. Wow, that's interesting. Afenifere, the banner headline is talking about Afenifere to the federal government. Afenifere is the pan, that is, yeah, when I talk about pan, we're talking about the Apex Yoruba group. And now they're coming to tell the federal government to reveal the identities of those behind the sponsors, the sponsoring of protesters flying Russian flag. We read on Wednesday 6 Spaniards, you understand, were in custody of the DSS, and then on Thursday, it was 7 Polish. So I'm beginning to, I'm a bit confused here because I really don't understand why Spanish nationals will now be sponsoring Russian flags, and the same thing with Polish nationals. And then, you know, I think there is more to this story. And sincerely speaking, I'm in tune with Afenifere's suggestion to the federal government to name this sponsor, so that let us know that we are even safe in this country.
The federal government once told us the now-known sponsors of terrorism. Have we seen their names? The question is no. Now they are saying they have in custody sponsors of those who are flying Russian flags, the Spaniards and the
Polish citizens.
So, like you question, why would a Spaniard or Spaniards
be interested in sponsoring
their own
their own flag,
Russian flag? So. But beyond that, you begin to ask, yes, the call by Afenifere is germane, it's important. The question is, would that ever be done? Are we even sure that they have any such persons in custody? That's another question. On the other hand, if those protesters brandished British flag, would this have been the same thing?
Of course.
If they had brandished US flag, would this be saying the same thing? Also, if you're going to ask why is Russia, why are we having a problem with Russian flag? I understand. I'm not taking away the fact that it's not proper. Probably we are all worried now because of the tension in northern Nigeria. After all, we have people who have flags of different countries in their cars. Has anything happened?
Nope.
So probably because of the tension we have in the north, and because of the style of Putin's leadership, that's the Russian president. That's why this is causing upheaval. Also, by now we are told that they've arrested the tailor who was sewing the flag. We are waiting to see those.
That's Amadou Bello.
Yes, we are waiting to see those who are the sponsors. But have we asked ourselves if those flags were flown in Anambra or Imo or Abia, Ebonyi or Enugu, what would have happened by now? Have we asked ourselves that question in the spirit of one Nigeria? If there was protest in the southeast, and then 2, 3, or 4 persons had those flags with them, do you think everywhere would be as quiet as it is now? The question is no. So you begin to wonder if...
But Ejike, from the videos circulating on the internet, those that were flying the flags were making chants. At least from what I saw, they were chanting that they needed Russia to come rescue them. Probably because they felt their neighbors, which is Niger, has Russian backup. Further north, you have Mali and Burkina Faso with Russian backup. So that's what they were anticipating, flying that flag. So apart from even the treasonable act of flying a foreign flag while protesting for bad governance in your country, they were equally chanting that they wanted soldiers to come and take over. But like you rightly said, if those chants and utterances were said in this part of the country, the story would have been totally different.
Going back to what you said, the last administration opened up the borders to Niger and then announced visa on arrival. I can boldly tell you that some of those persons who were flying those flags are not Nigerians. They are Nigerians. And that is the problem, whether we like it or not. See, the two cannot work together except they agree. I was in Lagos when the registration for the very first time during Obasanjo regime, when they started this registration for national ID card. I lived in an area where you have dominated by the northerners in Idiaraba. Lagos. You see, you clearly know this person is not a Nigerian, but he comes to register. Why? Because his name is Shehu Mohammed. And somebody in Katsina, dear Shehu Mohammed. Somebody from Nigeria, dear Shehu Mohammed. So you cannot tell him, go, you are not a Nigerian. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you have Nigerians come and mix up with them because they speak the same language. So you cannot differentiate.
I have the same culture too.
They have the same culture. Everything about them are almost the same. So you cannot differentiate. So that's why it's easy for them to just cross in from Egypt into Kano State. You understand? So there is no way to, and most of it, the Buhari regime now announced on arrival for them. There's a video where you see them trooping in their numbers into Nigeria through the borders. So there's no way to checkmate them. So these persons, I can boldly tell you that some of them are not even Nigerians. I doubt that Nigerians in northern Nigeria will begin to call on Russian president to come to their rescue. On what basis?
Even if they are Nigerians, I believe that somebody is actually sponsoring them, because most of them, they don't even understand what will Russia come and do for you. Like, they don't even understand what they are saying. They are being given out this flag. Maybe they give them food morning after night. Go out there and just be chanting and be flying the flag in the air. So most of them, they don't even understand the implication or what they are even saying. Just that, you know how they behave there. Do this, they will do it. They are like follow their master kind of attitude.
And like I said earlier, the north is volatile. There is hunger there. So it's easy to recruit these persons and then let them off the streets.
Of course, the tailor, you just give him money to go to the market, and to him, he
doesn't know what's that. It's possible the tailor doesn't even know what he's sewing. He was given material to do it like this, and you put this color before this color, and he's doing his business and earning his money. So it's as simple as that.
All right, let's go over to the papers we still have remaining. The Punch newspaper is next. Hunger protest. Victims' families recount ordeals, demand bailout. Gombe Kano traders, Castina churches count losses. Borno families relieve pains. NNPCL demands 4.7 trillion naira petrol imports reformed. And then forensic audit of 2.6 trillion naira NNPCL subsidy claims still ongoing. Fact panel. Dangote refinery designed to process Nigerian crude. CEO. Federal government suspends registration for 40,000 naira rice. And then down there, APC opposition clash over NLC secretariat invasion. Vehicles burnt as gas explodes in Lagos filling station. Naira closes to 1,596 per dollar as Forex inflows hit $25 billion. Wow. Then let's also see the other paper, that's The Guardian. Billions in drains as Southeast struggles with abandoned mega projects. That is, it was tagged the White Elephant Project, and that's a big story. You can see that on pages 4 and 5 of The Guardian newspaper. And then Nigeria's $20 billion budget can't fast-track development, far below global peers, says Bagudu. Marketers hopeful of Port Harcourt refineries August timeline. Supreme Court orders on direct funding of local government enforceable across Nigeria. Zokome insists. Plateau, Kaduna relaxed curfews as group alleges extrajudicial killings. And then NLC decides response today as DSS denies invasion of their headquarters. Okay, that's a different angle. Federal government holds still of 40,000 naira subsidized rights to civil servants. Afenifere kicks against Igbo must-go threat, divisive rhetoric. Southwest leads with 22.72% share in fact, 281.5 billion naira allocations to local government areas. Manufacturers decry 1.5 trillion naira FX transaction losses in 6 months. Wow, we have a lot of stories in both of the papers this morning. So, HK, do we start with that federal government halting the sale of that 40,000 naira bag of rice to civil servants? You know, earlier in the week, they asked civil servants to go and register, and when I went online for one, I saw that there were page where they would direct you to go and register for the rice. But I wonder what happened, why they changed their mind to stop the sale.
What if even informed the decision?
That's the question. It's quite funny.
You know, like somebody rightly pointed out, in Nigeria, you cry of removal of fuel subsidy. Federal government throws rice at you. You complain about lack of electricity, they throw rice at you. Somebody was even saying, instead of even distributing rice, why not distribute beans? It would have even be better.
Beans, can federal government afford beans now? I wonder.
But my own is, we argued the other day that why just the civil servants? What about the traders? What about other people that are working in civil service? What happens to them?
No, the civil servants are government children in quotes.
Okay, government children.
So
why don't you make rice to come down to 40,000 naira parallel in the market so that everybody can afford to buy it?
That's why I asked what even informed it. I don't understand. People just sit back and then throw up ideas and then say, let's see how it goes. If we do this one, we'll be able to shut them up. It doesn't work like that. Even the 40,000 naira, to be fair and sincere to all, how many persons will be able to buy? Even if you allow such to happen, at the end of the day, you see one person buying as much as 20 bags to go and resell. Mm-hmm. Welcome to Nigeria. Even the rice and palliative that was given out free, that was supposed to be given out to people free, we saw people rebagging it to sell. So that is the problem we find ourselves. Why not, like you said, bring down the price of rice so that everybody will go and buy? Instead of saying these are the people that will buy it at this price, then every other person can go and...
Because now when you make 40,000 naira available to civil servants for rice, when they go to the market to go and buy yam and beans, the people selling it will now jack up the price now.
That is inflation. Maybe.
Of course not.
That was what they thought about. And so, because it will always lead to inflation, or it will lead to more inflation, because we already are in inflation. It will always lead to more inflation. How much is the tuber of yam today? So it's not as if that's why I say you just keep throwing about rice everywhere as if rice is our problem. More than you lose on rice, you don't eat only rice. So at every point when Nigerians complain, they throw rice at you. It shouldn't be like that. So bringing down the cost of food, that's why, and this, as far as I'm concerned, this protest is well organized. They listed out what they wanted. Mm-hmm. Unlike what we had during NSAS, it was in the middle of the protest that they said, okay, these are our demands. But prior to this protest, they said these are the things we want. There is hunger in the land. Make food available. Even the president's speech on Sunday compounded the whole thing. You are asking people, you say you provided fertilizer, you have done this and that. You do not address the issue of insecurity, which is where the major problem is. Insecurity on our farms. He smartly avoided talking about it. If you make available hundreds of millions of dollars and people are unable to go to the farm, of what use is it? So provide security so that people can be able to go to farm. There are places in northern Nigeria where before you go to farm you pay taxes to these bandits. These bandits, are they ghosts? Are they not humans?
Are they robots?
Are they robots? Mm-hmm. So these are questions that we begin to ask. You don't just wake up and begin to throw rice at citizens.
Billions in drains as Southeast struggles with abandoned mega projects. Could it be the case of government chasing shadows, or government probably not? After embarking on a project, you now discover that this thing is not going to yield the desired revenue.
No, I think there is another angle to that, because if you look at that story critically, under that cartoon characters, you can see where they wrote, I need to have my legacy project. Forget the past. New projects are the most profitable.
We feel government is supposed to be a continuum. If, regardless of which party takes over government, it's supposed to be a continuum. Why should you abandon that? And that's why it's unfortunate this is a state-owned television, so I cannot say some things. But I'm not comfortable with people embedding their names on some projects. if you become the governor today and you have Akilo Stadium, if I come in, I can't continue it. I'm going to do it my own, so that I also have my name on it. So it's as simple as that. Government is supposed to be a continuum. That's why we keep having this abandon. And in some cases, these are just to ways of settling some persons, because there will always be kickbacks from these contracts. I'm of the opinion, as far as I'm concerned, I do not see any reason why Southeast should not have a rail line. Why can't the governors in the Southeast come together? You don't. It's obvious the federal government has abandoned the Southeast. For them to list out zones where they will build rail lines, and then Southeast was left out, even with the persons, our representatives at the lower and upper chamber.
Couldn't even say anything.
They couldn't even say, even let's assume they said something. How many are they? You understand? So why should we sit back and stalk and wait for federal government to come and do these things for us? Let us begin to develop our region. And this if we understand also all this legacy project thing, if it is jettisoned in the interest of the people who elected you, in the interest of the people, and understand that government is a continuum. Even if I don't finish this project, somebody else will come and continue it. I think we won't have this spate of abandoned projects everywhere. These are monies that has been wasted. And some of these projects, you need to bring them down and start afresh, even if you must continue. So that money goes down the drain.
Okay, quickly, I think this is where we will end this particular segment of the show this morning. And we want to say thank you so much, Ejike, for joining us on the press review this morning.
Thank you very much, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you, and we wish you a lovely weekend.
Please.
Okay, well, that's it, the press review this morning. But remember that we still have another segment. That's our discussion segment. So we'll see you after the short break. Stay with us.